Invest time with Jesus even amidst the troubles of daily life, and you will find true joy. Joni Eareckson Tada had become a renowned author and artist in spite of the paralysis of all her limbs due to an accident. For her wedding, she had planned to come down to the church in her motorized wheelchair. Just before her grand entrance into the church, she had a little problem. Her beautiful gown had rolled over the wheels and had black spot on it. She could not hold on to the flowers and it had fallen to the side. She was a bit disappointed. Then suddenly the doors of the church opened and she saw her would-be husband at the entrance of the church. At the sight of him, all her worries disappeared. This is what she said later. Once I saw Ken's face, all I could think of was him. Everything else, the people in the church, the flowers that had fallen, the spot on my dress, all of them were not my concern anymore, because I found my man who had committed his love and life to me. This is what happens when we encounter true love. This is what happens when we encounter God who is love. This is what happens when we encounter Jesus. All our troubles disappear. We find life more joyful when we invest time with Jesus in prayer, because Jesus is the one who has committed his love and life to us. In the Gospel according to St. Luke chapter 10 verses 38 to 42, we have the record of Mary and Martha welcoming the Lord Jesus in their home. Martha received him and was busy preparing a meal for Jesus. Mary sat at his feet and listened to all the wonderful things he had to say. Martha said to herself, "What a privilege to prepare a meal for him." And Mary said, "What a privilege to sit at his feet." And they were both right. But Martha was a bit troubled. She felt that Mary was unreasonable in leaving her to serve the meal. She even went to the extent of questioning the Lord for allowing her to sit at his feet while there was a lot of work to be done in the house. Jesus then spoke very tenderly to Martha. "You are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." Jesus gently corrects Martha. The problem was not that Martha was working, but she was obsessed with working. But sitting beside Jesus, one is able to forget the troubles of life and enjoy true peace. St. Paul in his letter to the Colossians chapter 1 verse 24 proclaims, "Brothers and sisters, now I rejoice in my sufferings for your sake, and in my flesh I am filling up what is lacking in the afflictions of Christ on behalf of his body, which is the church." Our sufferings become meaningful when it is endured for the sake of Jesus and his church. Ultimately, what counts is our relationship with the person of Jesus. Setting aside time to be alone with God or spending quality time with God will deepen our relationship with him. God has always been a God of invitation. He always invites us to get closer to him. The world is so busy that there is no time for silence. There is so much noise that there is no quietness. Jesus tells us, "Come to me, all you who are tired and weary and overburdened, and I will give you rest." Our rest is in Jesus. Our hope is in Jesus. Our healing is in Jesus. In the book of Genesis chapter 18 verses 1 to 10, we read about Abraham who welcomes 3 strangers. He invests his time with them and he is promised a son. Our desire to invest time with Jesus will always depend on the depth of our relationship. Charles Francis Adams, grandson of President John Adams, one day wrote in his diary, "I went fishing with my son today a day wasted. His son Brooke Adams also kept a diary. What he wrote was something different. He wrote, "I went fishing with my father, the most wonderful day of my life." The father thought he was wasting time while fishing with his son, but for his son, it was an investment of time. The value that we give to the time we spend with God or with others will depend on the depth of our relationship. Do you have time for Jesus? It is worth investing time with Him. May we be able to choose the better part, like Mary, to invest time with Jesus, so that we shall not be troubled with life's insecurities. That will enable us to be joyful Marthas in our workplace. Let us proclaim with the psalmist, "He who does justice will live in the presence of the Lord."